Be warned, this video will contain spoilers. Ironheart Season 1 has just wrapped up its final 3 episodes, and if you stayed through the credits, then you know there's a lot to talk about. That post-credits scene didn't just drop a teaser, it cracked the door open on 3 different directions for the MCU. The big question now is, will any of them actually happen? Let's start with what the show gave us leading up to that moment. After Parker Robbins, aka the Hood, figures out in episode 3 that Riri was the one who left John behind to die, the rest of the season builds to an explosive confrontation. But that's not even the biggest twist. The final episodes reveal that Parker got his powers through a deal with Mephisto. Yes, that Mephisto, the long-rumored Marvel villain fans have been speculating about for years. He even tries to make a deal with Riri herself. But what's interesting is that this whole deal-making arc isn't the focus of the post-credits scene. Instead, Marvel drops a subtle but significant breadcrumb trail that points in 3 distinct directions, and fans are already debating which ones will stick. In the post-credits scene, we see Parker Robbins tracking down Zelma Stanton, Riri's mystical ally from earlier in the season. And here's where it gets juicy. He asks her for help, specifically saying he needs Supreme-like help. That phrase doesn't just sound cool, it's a direct callback to the Sorcerer Supreme, which fans immediately associate with Doctor Strange. But it's not Stephen Strange who comes to mind first, it's Strange Academy. Strange Academy was originally teased years ago as a series about a school for young magical talent, possibly led by Wong, with America Chavez rumored to appear. Zelma herself has comic book ties to Kamar-Taj and was actually a librarian under Doctor Strange's tutelage. So her involvement could easily serve as a bridge to that storyline. The only problem? Strange Academy is one of the shows that reportedly got put on hold during Marvel's recent TV overhaul. That update came back in February 2025, so it's strange, no pun intended, that Ironheart is teasing it now. But let's not forget, on hold doesn't mean cancelled. Marvel could just be reworking it, the same way they revamped Daredevil, Born Again after fan pushback. If Strange Academy does happen, Parker and Zelma are looking like prime candidates to play major roles. But that's not the only future the post-credits scene hints at. When you look at how Mephisto is being positioned in Ironheart, and how he tries to manipulate young heroes, it's hard not to think about the Young Avengers. Or maybe even the Champions. In Marvel Comics, there's a storyline where Mephisto targets young superheroes and even possesses Riri through his son, Blackheart. That arc has clear parallels to what's already happening in the show. So imagine if Marvel shifts that concept slightly and folds it into a Young Avengers story for the screen. It's not out of reach. Parker already has a personal stake with Mephisto and could end up trying to break Riri free from his influence, especially with Zelma and potentially Doctor Strange guiding him. So now we're looking at multiple branching paths: Strange Academy, a Mephisto-driven arc involving young heroes, and a potential Young Avengers storyline. And that's all from one quiet post-credits scene. Will Marvel actually follow through on any of it? That's the million-dollar question. There's clearly a plan, or at least the skeleton of one. But with so many projects in flux, it's hard to know what will survive the studio's shifting priorities. Still, with the amount of setup that Ironheart just delivered, it would be a real loss if Marvel doesn't pick up at least one of these threads. So what do you think? Is Strange Academy still coming? Will Mephisto become a major villain? And does this finally mean Young Avengers is happening for real? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know which MCU project you think will be the first to come out of Ironheart's post-credit twist.